Hey everyone, I'm Joey. Today I'm going to share with you 15 easy ways to save money. No matter what stage of life you're in or how much you know about personal finance, these tips can apply to just about anyone. If you have questions on anything that I talk about, there's links in the description where you can learn more about any of the specific topics. Don't forget to like this video. It really helps my channel and it helps other people find this information as well. If you want to test out the stock market and see what it's all about, but you don't want to invest any of your own money into it, check out the links that I have in the description to Robinhood and Webull. These are two different apps that you and I both can get a free stock just for opening a free account with them. Even if you wouldn't consider yourself an investor, a free stock's a free stock. The stocks can be valued up to $1,200. Let's get started. You may have heard of the term financial minimalism. This is basically a concept of only living on necessities and not anything extra that you don't absolutely need. All of these ways to save money are going to have the theme of financial minimalism. Living frugally is a very good way to save money. Ever since I rebooted my first company 4.5 years ago, I've managed to save about $120,000. This equates to about $30,000 a year. I don't say that to flex, I only say that to show you that with the right tools and the right mindset, anybody can set themselves up for success with the right money saving habits. I've been able to save a lot of money because I buy my clothes from thrift stores, I buy cheap used cars, I eat beans and rice about 5 times a week, and I actually save a lot of money by not eating meat. I decided to become a vegetarian about 2 years ago, mainly due to the health benefits of not eating animals. That's another video for a different time, but you can save a lot of money by not eating meat. I'm recording this video during the quarantine of 2020 that came from humans consuming bats. There's a lot of strange diseases and viruses that stem from the consumption of animals. I'm not here to tell you about the ethics of the matter, but I did want to bring it to everyone's attention because of what's going on in the world right now. If you not only want to save your money, but you also want to save the world, consider doing some research into plant-based diets. I'll also be doing another video on vegetarian statistics, so go check that out. Aside from saving the world, here's 15 ways you can easily save money. Number 1, where you keep your saved money actually has a huge difference on how much you can save. Most people like myself start off by opening a savings account with a bank and saving their money in there. A better option is to open up an investment account and put your money in an index fund or a mutual fund. And here's why. Savings accounts on average pay you an interest rate of 1%. That means if you put $100 in a savings account, after 1 year you would earn $1. So after a year you have $101. Well, that's kind of unfortunate because the rate of inflation is about 3%. That means the price of a $100 product when you started saving would be 3% more 1 year later. This new $100 product now costs $103 and you only have $101. Product prices keep increasing year after year. If your money does not keep up with at least the 3% inflation rate, you are losing money. An investment account gives you access to the stock market. I have other videos on what the stock market is and how it works if you're interested in learning more. Number 2, avoid non-essential purchases. Non-essential purchases include online shopping, buying clothes, buying toys. Yes, my Rubik's Cube collection and my Brain Teaser collection are unnecessary purchases. Most of these were gifts, but I did buy a few of them myself. If you're interested in which one of these takes the longest to solve, check out some of my other YouTube videos. If you're addicted to caffeine like me, consider starting to make your coffee at home. It's way cheaper than buying it than at Starbucks or even at McDonald's for 99 cents. If energy drinks are your thing, consider buying the off-brand or completely cutting it out of your diet for a couple months to save some money. Better yet, buy off-brand for everything when you go to the grocery store. Many of the top name brands jack up their prices for advertising, but are essentially offering the same product as something right next to it on the shelf with a generic name. I found this to be a fun way of finding new food items that I actually enjoyed better than the name brand product. One thing I'll never turn my back on though, Jif peanut butter. What are you, a Skippy guy? Peter Pan type of woman? You like the Great Value best? I personally could save a lot of money on peanut butter if I went with the off-brand, but I actually like the name brand way better than all of the competitors, so that's the one I actually choose. That is a perfect example of how I can save money in my life. Number 3, you can use an app like Acorn which rounds up all of your purchases to the next dollar and automatically saves it for you. Not many of us are good at saving when it comes to first learning good financial habits. Acorn makes this process easy and eliminates some self-discipline. Number 4, food stamps, also known as EBT or SNAP. Eligibility is determined by the number of people in the household, how much your net income is together, and how much you own in assets. Products that can be purchased with food stamps include anything that has a nutrition facts label on it. So this eliminates pet food, alcohol, tobacco, paperware, household items, cosmetics, soaps, medicines, and bathroom supplies. This is a great way to save a couple $100 a week on groceries if you qualify. Number 5, unsubscribe from subscriptions. Some subscriptions like Dollar Shave Club are a very cheap way of purchasing essential items like razors. The cheapest way to buy razors though is to buy a pack of 20 of single blade or double blade razors at your local convenience store. more. Other subscriptions like streaming subscription services like Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, YouTube TV, and Amazon Prime are all non-essential subscriptions. If you absolutely can't live without TV, which, let's be real, all of us can, but we don't want to, eliminate all the services except your favorite one. I'll talk about next ways to combine these subscriptions with friends, family members, or even strangers. Other subscriptions could include cloud storage from Apple, Google, or Amazon, and software subscriptions such as schedulers, invoicing software, graphic design software, and a lot of other business integrations that make life easier. If you can afford to eliminate any of these without affecting your income or future business, removing subscriptions from your monthly expenses can help save money. Number 6, combine utilities. Let's think of some main utility expenses that we all pay month to month. The ones that come to mind for me are living expenses such as rent, electricity, water, and gas, and also phone bill. You could be saving a lot of money by getting a group of friends together and renting a house. I rented a house with 3 other friends while I was in college for $1,200 a month. And the house that we were staying in had a driveway and a garage and a big yard and a back deck, 2 stories in a neighborhood that was really close to my college campus, and it was way nicer than the 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment that I had been renting with one other friend the year before, that I was actually paying more for. So if you want to save some money, get some roommates. Better yet, you can buy a house with an FHA loan, which only requires a 3.5% down payment, have your roommates pay the mortgage for you, and live for free. This brings us to number 7. Be a landlord, don't pay a landlord. Tenants in a rental situation are paying a landlord. They exchange monthly rent for a place to live for that month. At the end of the month, that money is gone and the tenant doesn't have anything to show for it. However, if you can come up with a 3.5% down payment for an FHA loan, get a group of responsible and respectful tenants, those tenants will not only be paying you every single month, but at the end of 30 years or however fast you can pay your loan off, you now own a house. Even if you don't decide to have roommates, if you can afford to buy a house, it's a way better option than renting because renters pay a landlord, homeowners pay their future self. When I pay my mortgage, I think of it as an investment into my future self because in 30 years, I'm going to own a house that's a couple $100,000. If I were to rent over those 30 years, I would have nothing to show for it at the end except be able to say I had a roof over my head for the past 30 years. If you don't plan to have roommates paying your mortgage and you plan on paying it yourself, consider looking into a traditional mortgage which requires a 20% down payment, but you pay less in monthly interest over those 30 years. Even if owning a house is not a reality for you right now, be thinking ahead to the future and ask yourself, how can I make this happen? Because it's a very good financial decision. If you're smart about it, you think through it, and you just weigh the options. Number 8, switch to an electric or a hybrid vehicle. Our first car when we moved down to the Big Island of Hawaii was a 1994 Toyota 4Runner with 4-wheel drive. We had never been to Hawaii and we wanted an adventure vehicle so that we could get to the off-the-beaten-path destinations that required 4-wheel drive. This car was super cheap, it was falling apart, but it helped us have fun, go on adventures, and helped us save up for our next car, which is a Honda Civic Hybrid. Toyota trucks are a hot commodity on the Big Island, so we didn't have that much trouble selling it. We decided to go with the 2005 Hybrid, and now we pay $30 in gas per month as opposed to $50 a week. This is savings of $170 a month, which is a no-brainer. If you drive a lot for work or in general, and you don't need a truck for daily or weekly projects, consider looking into a hybrid or electric vehicle. It could save you money in the long run. We need a truck less than once a month, and usually for only a couple hours at a time. That's when I call some friends to see if I can borrow their truck, or I can go to Home Depot and rent a truck for 20 bucks an hour. An even cheaper way of saving money on transportation is to use public transit. Now you're gonna have to do the math on this yourself because sometimes getting taxis or Ubers or using public transportation can sometimes be more expensive than just buying a car in the first place. Selling a car or reducing your transportation costs can save you some money. Number 9, this one is specifically for students. Here's a story about my extremely resourceful wife. I have not seen many people apply themselves the way that my wife applies herself. She skipped 7th grade and went from 6th grade to 8th grade because she already knew the curriculum. She also dual enrolled as a senior in high school, so she got her first year of college out of the way during her senior year of high school. She graduated high school at 17 with already 1 year of college under her belt. She learned that taking out student loans could potentially be crippling, so she applied for scholarships, grants, and other opportunities to help her cover the cost of higher education. She's now halfway through her master's program here in Hawaii. She has her tuition waived and they actually pay her to go to school because she's a teacher assistant. The bottom line is apply yourself. Apply for scholarships until you get them. In Georgia, there was Hope Scholarship, which is an academic scholarship for anyone who keeps a 3.0 GPA or higher. There's also Zell Miller Scholarship, which requires a 3.7 GPA or higher. There's also the Pell Grant for students who are on their own and not financially dependent on their parents. Just about every state offers academic scholarships and grants, so apply yourself, do your research, and save money on higher education. Number 10, bundle your insurance. You see this on commercials all the time. If you bundle your home insurance or rentals insurance with your car insurance and your health insurance and your life insurance, you can get a better deal. At one point, I had my car insurance, my renter's insurance, my health insurance, and my life insurance all from different companies. This number is going to look different for everyone, but the bottom line is if you stick with one company, generally your price will be cheaper than going with a bunch of different companies. Number 11, minimize your usage of household items and reuse anything that could potentially be reusable. Some examples of minimizing are turning off the water when you're washing dishes or brushing your teeth, turning all the lights off when you go out of the house, taking showers at a room temperature as opposed to scalding hot, and using hand towels as opposed to paper towels. Reusing plasticware or one-time use items like straws or grocery bags are also a good way to save money and help the environment. Number 12, now this one only applies to parents. Easily the most expensive thing about parenting are the kids themselves. An easy way to eliminate these expenses is to sell your kids on websites like, I'm just kidding, do not sell your kids. But some good parenting habits to get into are reusable diapers, they're not as gross as you think, look them up, hand-me-down clothing, limiting the snacks that the kids have access to, and getting your kids involved in the same sport so that they can share equipment and pass it down to younger siblings. Number 13, eliminate restaurant dining as an option. Yes, making food at home does require a lot more planning and a lot more time, but once you get into these habits, they become like second nature, and taking your lunch to work is now just something that you do. It's not anything new or weird, it's just something that you do. A blog by cheapism.com outlines that you can save almost half of your money spent by preparing meals at home as opposed to either takeout or dining in a food establishment. Confession, I hate cooking, but this time in quarantine is giving me a lot of time to practice. If you're like me and you don't really like cooking, the best thing to do is to just start. We don't know what we don't know, so you might as well dive right in and try to figure out what you don't know. Learn new recipes, what tastes good with what. Not everything has to be done by the books. I look at recipes as basically just ideas of things that are good together. You can tweak it to adjust your taste. If you don't like cilantro, don't add cilantro. The options are endless and it's a good way to save money compared to eating out. Number 14, pay using credit cards as opposed to paying in cash. I did a credit card comparison for this year's top credit card, so go check it out if that's something you're interested in. If you are a financially responsible credit card owner, there's a lot of money to be saved. The reason for this is the cashback programs that most credit cards offer. If you're paying with cash or debit, you're going to pay sticker price. If you pay your expenses with credit card and you make sure to pay it off every single month so that you don't accumulate any debt, you'll save between 1 and 5% on all your purchases. If you do a lot of online shopping on Amazon, Amazon offers a 5% cashback credit card on all Amazon purchases. I got one of these credit cards and I only use it for my Amazon purchases. It's something extra to think about, so instead of having to remember to pay it off every single month, I set up auto pay with the bank so that it would be paid in full every single month without me having to go in and manually pay off my credit card. Credit cards are a better way to pay. And finally, number 15, buy used things, not new things. For me, this is especially true with vehicles and clothing. According to Carfax, new cars lose 20% of their value in the first year. Cars depreciate in value, unlike a house which appreciates in value. There are plenty of reliable used cars out there that won't break down on you. You just have to do some research. Growing up, I didn't know it was possible to get a shirt for less than $20. I thought of Goodwill and thrift stores as basically places to get Halloween costumes and crazy outfits, as opposed to actually getting anything decent that I would wear on a regular basis. After I realized that a lot of these name brand clothes that were in great condition had only been slightly used, and I could get something that someone bought for $50 for $5. Fashion is not something that's important to me, and I don't run a fashion blog, so I can save a lot of money by shopping at thrift stores. There's also affiliate programs that will pay you or ship you free clothes, but that's another video for a different day. Hopefully these tips have given you some good ideas on how to save some money. Don't forget to like this video. It really helps my channel and it helps other people find this information as well. Let me know in the comments below how any of these tips have worked for you, and feel free to leave your own tips for anyone watching this video. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below to Robinhood and Webull to get your free stocks. It's free to open an account through both apps, so you might as well get a free stock while you're doing it. Remember, these stocks can be worth up to $1,200. Thanks for watching. See you next time.